Thank you. Who remembers that song? Oh boy, yeah. I remember I was in 7th grade and they played it for a whole quarter for PE. So thank you. I love those New Thought lyrics too. Good job with that. Boy. Oh, it's so good to be here again and see all of you and be in our time of divine co-creation with Spirit, uplifting today. So one morning, a mother went into her son's room and she said, "Time to go to school, get up, get up." He said, "No, I don't want to go to school." She said, "Come on, you're going to be late, get up." He said, "No." She said, "Well, give me 2 good reasons why you don't want to go to school." And he kind of sat up and rubbed his eyes and said, "The teachers don't like me, and the kids hate me." And she said, "That's no good reason to stay home. Come on, get up, go to school." And he sat up a little bit and lifted his chin and said, "You give me 2 good reasons why I should go to school." And she sighed and she said, "Number 1, you're 52 years old. And number 2, you're the principal." Joy School. Did you learn joy in school? We kind of came into it, in this world just as our beingness, right? Just those little children you just see, they're laughing and joyful all the time. And then we get to school, maybe there's some teachers who encourage that, but what happened? What happened? But I bet there's some class clowns here. I bet. Who was a class clown? Yeah, I could see that. The guys in the back. Yeah, that would just break the tension, or things got a little too serious in class. The class clown would do something to just lighten things up. Yeah. Boy. So I was surprised that when I read that children laugh on average 400 times a day. And adults, 15 times a day. Yeah. So today we're about reclaiming our birthright of joy. Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
Yes. So there's some good quotes about joy. I want to share a couple with you from Victor Borges. "Laughter is the shortest distance between 2 people." And isn't that true? Maybe you don't even speak the same language, but if you're laughing together. And then Thich Nhat Hanh, "Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy." Yeah, I like that he has a meditation to picture a giant smiley face inside of you. Doesn't it just make you want to smile, just that visual, Like, I'm a walking emoji. But we live in a time when joy is necessary, isn't it? Necessary. It's like a divine elixir, easing the troubles and the tensions and the confusion and, oh boy, everything that might be going on out there. Yeah, it's a gift. And even in the face of adversity or uncertainty, joy is waiting to just bubble up. It's part of our, divine nature, part of our Christ essence. It's already here. We don't have to seek it. It's just about allowing it to come forth. So what gets in the way of allowing joy? Maybe stress. We get too busy, get too breathless, too much going on, the mind gets too busy or distracted. We can have joy in the doing, that's for sure. But there's also joy in just being and letting it rise up. Have you experienced that? Just joy, just bubbling up. Where did it come from? It's always there. It's just coming to mind, coming to presence. So I know, how many of you have a to-do list? Maybe some of us have several, or sticky notes. Yes, to-do list, but how many of you have a to-be list? That might be something to put on your Joy School curriculum this week, to have a to-be list. Who do I want to be today? What part of my divine essence do I want to let? How do I want to be creative, funny, kind, compassionate, peaceful? What do I want to be today? So, time for being. Time for being. Sometimes we get so busy we forget that's so important, a time for being. I was reading an article that just captured my imagination and my intellect. It was 5 scientific reasons why getting lost in a good book is good for you. And I found this is in Paris. Doesn't it look great? A little library, you can go pick your hammock and just relax for a little bit. And in this article, it cited studies that 6 minutes of silent reading reduces stress by 68%. Just 6 minutes. And it had several, 5 good things. And the other thing that caught my attention was stories help us think, feel, and reimagine the type of person we want to be. Yeah. So we have Bible stories too. I was meditating on the topic today, and the story that came to mind may sound familiar to you from Luke chapter 10, verse 38, where Jesus enters a certain village. I'm going to read a little bit. He entered a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him. She had a sister named Mary who sat at Jesus' feet and listened to what he was saying. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks. So she came to him and asked, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her then to help me." But the Lord answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and upset about many things. But few things are needed, indeed, only one. Mary has chosen the better part, which will not be taken away from her." Boy, that's not the answer Martha wanted, was it? Have we been the Martha? Like rushing around, multitasking, doing so much, and then nobody's helping, and getting upset, right? And then we have all been the Mary too, right? Just poised in prayer. So Martha's like the aspect of us that is the doer in the material world, who wants to take charge of things, get things done. And Mary is our spiritual nature that knows that to make ourselves available to the wisdom of the Christ that is right here, right here. So we have both those aspects within us. And that Jesus tells her that Mary has chosen the better part and it will not be taken away from her. So our connection with the divine, our connection with Spirit will never be taken away from us. It will always feed us, feed our souls, our spirits. So Jesus taught a lot about love and joy. In John 15:11 we read, "As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. If you keep my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete." And the command is this: love each other as I have loved you. So that love and joy go together, don't they? That unconditional love makes space for joy to arise. So that joy is our cell's happy dance of being alive, isn't it? So know that if you are going through a tough time right now, that joy is on the other side of that, waiting to rise up, to lighten your load, to strengthen you. Robert Schuller said, joy is not the absence of suffering, it is the presence of God. So not only does joy make us feel good, it's healing. It's healing. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, had a whole chapter in his book, Jesus Christ Heals. And the chapter was The Healing Power of Joy. He had this to say: some people think it's almost a sacrilege to sing when they feel bad. They think it's time to groan, and they usually do. But you can quickly be released from the prison of pain or grief if you will sing and praise and pray. That's powerful. So there's this misconception that we can only feel joy when something happens on the outside, right? When things are going well, and that maybe it's unseemly to feel joy in the midst of pain or tragedy. But the difficult times are when the expression of joy can be the most powerful. I was thinking of a friend of mine who showed up at a party, a dance party, and he just loved to get out there and do his thing. And once he brought these special slippers like he liked to dance in. You know, he said, I'm bringing my dancing slippers. And I thought, oh, maybe like ballet shoes or something. But on his feet were two fluffy yellow duck slippers. Yellow duck slippers. Joy, you know? At my first church, we had an outreach to assisted living, and we would go there once a month, and we started out with the daily word, a prayer, a short talk, some singing. Well, the residents who were wheeled in, they were asleep during most of it. But when we started singing, they woke up. They woke up. So we quickly learned, let's do more singing and less talking. And I remember one time, we would go once a month, and one time, the room was full of the residents, and there was one woman with her mother who was visiting, and we were singing Amazing Grace. We were leading, singing Amazing Grace, and her mother started singing. And the woman came up to me after with tears in her eyes. She said, I haven't heard my mother sing in years, but something inside of her connected to that joy of singing. So yes, the difficult times are when the expression of joy can be most moving and most healing and powerful. I had a cousin who was going through chemotherapy, and she would paint her toenails a certain way. Sometimes she painted them with different emojis, like a smiley or something else. So when she looked down, she was in the chair, she could, her feet were together, she could see all this, and when the pain got too much, she would look down and she would see this and start cracking up. And sometimes she would put little messages that she could spell on her toenails. She posted a picture one time that said, she abbreviated it, cancer sucks. And she could see this, and the nurse that finally caught her, she said, what's that on your toes? And so they just started laughing, so it was a way for her to keep her spirits up. When I posted this, our talk on Facebook, a friend reached out and she said, She's also been dealing with chemo treatments for cancer, and she said, I have been home a lot this past year recuperating from illness, and I have found that joy and laughter have made a positive impact on my physical health, mental health, and healing. The spiritual RX is laugh, laugh, laugh. So I was really touched by that, of knowing what she is going through still, has been through and is going through still. She was living that, and it was real for her. So we know too that there have been studies on the healing power of joy and laughter. At the Mayo Clinic had a lot of those. They had a lot to say about that. That laughter aids breathing, disrupting our normal respiration patterns and increasing our breathing rate, and it can even help clear mucus from the lungs. A hearty laugh, they said, is good for your heart, increasing circulation, delivering oxygen to tissues and nutrients through tissues throughout the body. Laughter stimulates our immune system to fight off disease and decreases the stress hormone levels. You've experienced this, right? Have you experienced this? And this really got my attention, that laughter is also good for allergies. So you're going to be laughing at all the trees, right, going home. It also helps to control pain. And in their study, it said it raises levels of our brain's natural endorphins, which are 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine itself. So we know that it's a stress reliever. So can you remember the last time you had a good laugh? You know, where you're just like you can't stop almost, right? Just laugh so hard you hooted, hollered, rolled on the floor, tears. Yeah, that is a full body experience, isn't it? It's like an inner massage expressing out. So it's been proven that people who laugh live longer. Live longer. You remember Norman Cousins? Yeah. He got the attention of the medical community in the late 70s and 80s, and he discovered that laughter boosted his immune system and helped him heal from the serious disease. And it also gave him pain relief and better sleep. And he had this observation that I thought was interesting about the connection between our spirit and our body. He said, the soul is the cradle of the spirit. Spirit can be defined as the vital essence or animating force of a living organism, often considered divine in origin. Well, we believe that, divine in origin. This energy is referred to as qi in Chinese tradition or ki in Japanese tradition. It can be visioned using Kirlian photography or felt during the application of healing touch. Spirit can be influenced, that energy, life force, influenced by the feelings of joy, hope, and love. You feel that? Yeah. He says also that the experience of laughter momentarily banishes feelings of anger, fear, providing moments of feeling carefree, lighthearted, and hopeful. So laughter creates a space for hope. So when you're in line at Smart and Final with your duck slippers, isn't that a great way to see it, that we're creating space for hope? Lightening things up. The Jewish proverb says, what soap is to the body, laughter is to the soul. So Norman Cousins, he surprised doctors by living 36 years after his original diagnosis. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So laughter, joy, brings us into the now, into the present moment, into our bodies where life is happening now, where God is happening now. We can look at wisdom from indigenous cultures. When a community member felt lost or troubled, they would go to the village tribal elder or shaman, who would ask them some questions to help them bring back to their vitality within them. And the shaman or elder would ask them, when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you cease feeling enchanted by stories? When did you cease finding comfort in the sweet territory of silence? Some good questions we can sit with in the week as well. You know, when did you last dance, sing? We got to sing today. Yay. Yeah. Lose yourself in a good story, a good book. Spend time in the silence. So laughter, prayer, positivity, joy, body, mind, and spirit are intertwining in the dance of life. That we dance with everything in life. So which ways will you allow joy to arise in you this week? Are you willing to be a principal of joy? A principal who wants to go to the joy school. Or like a unity principal of joy. So I want to close with a poem by Persian poet Hafiz, or Hafiz. I've heard it pronounced both ways. Great poem. I sometimes forget that I was created for joy. My mind is too busy. My heart is too heavy for me to remember that I have been called to dance, the sacred dance of life. I was created to smile, to love, to be lifted up, and to lift up others. O sacred one, untangle my feet from all that ensnares. Free my soul that we might dance and that our dancing might be contagious. So it is.
So it is.
Thank you.